Hello, hello, it is Lindsay. This is my Lab 3 screencast. Just real quick, I wanted to go over it. We were talking about this in Lab, and basically it's just specifying the login page. So, log in, with username, password on successful login, set a session variable with user ID and name from the database, and then redirect the user to a profile page and display their avatar along with their username. And then make sure the page is protected and not accessible without login. Okay, so I was working on like a registration because it's basically the same thing as login. So I was working on that, but I saw that it wasn't asking for that, so I waited because I saw a CRUD one. So I hope you're not looking for that. But I saw a CRUD, which I'm guessing is the creating and the updating of accounts, like account information and stuff. So I kind of left it. I haven't looked at it yet, but that's what I assumed. So anyhow, so I just did the login, and I hope that's okay. Okay, so here's my login, and to access your profile, please log in. Alright, so I have two users, and like here's my SQL Pro. I have two users, and just for reference, Joe's password is like we did in class 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I made Jane, which is ABCD, and the reason why is I added functionality, like for example, the avatar is null because that's not like an optional thing for me. Well, it's not optional, but like for example, you shouldn't have to upload an avatar. So I added functionality for that. So first we're going to sign in as Joe, and then we're going to do his password, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to log in. Okay, so right here we have welcome Joe, and it shows the image. So it's displaying his name right here and the image right there according to what's in the database. So we're going to log out. And then I'm going to log in again. And this time I'm going to log in as Jane. And her password is ABCD. And I'm going to log in, and you can see it displays like the default user image thingy jig. But it also displays her name too. And then we can log out. And then the last thing, oh whoops, I should have copied that. Let's see. Jane ABCD. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you was, hold on a second, let me get Firefox up here. So if I just paste this in here, it's going to kick you back. You see how it kicks you back to the index because it's not accessible, so it's going to kick you out because you're not there. So let me go to the code real quick just to kind of show you and walk you through what's going on here. This right here is the login, and we kind of went over most of this in class, but I just added a little bit of stuff right here. So we have the password set up, and it's it's using the encryption type. Right here, okay, so we get the current user ID and we set it. So this is something that we didn't really do in class because we just got the row count. But right here we want, like, if the statement row count is greater than 0, so basically if there's a result, we wanted to get the user ID according, I don't have it up anymore, but according to the requirements, it wanted the user ID, but it didn't really tell us to do anything with it yet. So I'm assuming that's for like a later lab since these are kind of building on each other. Then we have the session, the current user, which I used for the username. I could have done current username, but whatever. And this is like my functionality for the avatar. So basically, if they have an avatar, load it. If they don't, display the default. So like you can see right here, and I just dropped a default image in my thing, and then you set the successful login and you return true, and that's for logic in my home controller. Otherwise return false. So if I move over to the home controller, this is all pretty much old stuff from the register action. I disabled it because, like I said, right now I was working on the register action using one of the old forms, and that's not quite finished because it wasn't required. So I just kind of disabled that so you won't get any kind of errors, or you won't try to break it or anything. Don't break it. Anyhow, so we have the action, the get action, the login action. Okay, so basically I'm checking the username and password, making sure they're set. Here I'm logging in, and this is checking the login with the username and password that the user provided when they type it in. So if R, so like as you saw, I return true or false in this function. So if R, so if the statement is true, we're going to go ahead and load the profile page. Otherwise, we're going to redirect them. And also, like if the username and password wasn't set, we're going to redirect them. And these are just some leftover things. It's just if there's any other kind of inconsistencies, it's just going to take them back to the home page. So that was pretty much it. The forms and stuff is still pretty much the same. This is Lab 2 stuff. I was just copying the button. But, and here's the profile page. It's got the additional thing so that anytime you go to the profile page, it's going to check to see if you're logged in. Otherwise, it's going to kick you out. And then if you are logged in, it's going to go ahead and display that little bit of stuff. But alright, so that's pretty much it. Oops. That's pretty much it. So it was relatively simple and stuff this time. So so yeah, that was it. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye bye.